understanding your original mind. The next word we want to talk about is sin. Now, for some of you, you have pictured all kind of things in your mind just by the word I said, sin. Some of you have thought about fornication. You may have thought about smoking, drinking, um, cursing out your neighbor, beating somebody up. You all had a whole lot of things going through your mind. And I want to submit to you that all of those things are the results of sin. It's the fruit that we see of sin. But it's not exactly sin. What do I mean by that? Well, in Think Like God, Understanding Your Original Mind, I want to show you some truths that God revealed to me last year. And He woke me up early one morning and said, I want you to write down all the things that we talked about last year. And I thought, they are written down in my notes, Lord. Remember my notes. And I realized that He wasn't talking about my notes. I said, oh, so you mean you want me to write them in like a book form? And He said, exactly. So I'm excited to share this word with you. I believe it will bring the enlightenment to the body of Christ. It will bring enlightenment if you're not in the body of Christ. And it will bring a release to you. We are no longer bound by the law. We're no longer bound by the power of sin. It's in the earth. It's in our atmosphere. It influences us, but we are not bound to it. It's not something we have to agree with. And so in Think Like God, Understanding Your Original Mind, I point out some of the things that God has shared with me. One of the words I want to talk about right now is sin. And let me read you the definition. Sin is joining your will to think in a way that opposes the way God thinks, which leads to actions that oppose the desires, purposes, nature, and plans of God. Probably not what you had in your mind when I said the word sin initially, right? Just like commandment is God's prescribed way of thinking, sin is actually thinking in a way that opposes the way God thinks. Totally different concept, I know. I'm letting it sink in. I'm going to say it again. Just like commandment is God's prescribed way of thinking, sin is thinking in a way that opposes the way God thinks. Now, for you, understanding that when you do something wrong, something happened before you did something wrong. Remember in the old days, y'all, they said we missed the mark, right? How did you miss the mark? Where was the mark? And what were you doing before you missed it? When we sit down and analyze those things and really think about it, if we sin, was it premeditated? Did we think about it first? If we decided we wanted to drink or go out to a party or do drugs for the first time, did we just walk in the room and say, I'm going to do this? Probably not. There was probably some portion of premeditated thinking, even if it was only for a moment or two. You thought about it, you analyzed it, you put it in a category or two and decided that you were going to do it or not do it. Think about Adam and Eve, right? They're in the garden. The enemy comes, he talks to Eve in a way to deceive her. Very subtly, he says to her, what did God say? Now, Eve knew what God said. Adam knew what God said. The serpent knew what God said. It wasn't even a real valid question. The question just got her to thinking. And the Bible says, at least in my translation, it says, and when she was convinced. That has a lot to do with her ideas. When Eve premeditated and thought about what the serpent was saying to her, she eventually became convinced. He said, nah, you won't die. ahead, eat it. You won't die. She thought about it. God's a good God. He gave us all these things. The tree looks lovely. I would love to eat off that tree. I've been here all this time. I haven't tasted that tree not once. But it looks so good. How could that hurt me? So Eve began to think in a way that opposed the way God thought. God said, don't eat of the tree. If Eve would have said, you know what, servant, I don't know who you're talking to, but God said don't eat of that tree, they wouldn't have had that problem that day. Instead, she thought about it. She meditated on it. And isn't that what we do today? We do the exact same thing. God gives us a word and he says to us, go here, don't go here. Do this, don't do that. We think about what he said. Well, he told me to go over here, but first, I need to make this stop real quick, and then I'm going to go over there. He says, wakes you up and says, go get your daughter from school. Well, she ain't sick, the school ain't called, ain't no reason for me to go get that child, and we go on and on and on. We begin to reason in ourselves, not understanding that God sees the calamity that's coming, and he's giving us an out. And so when we think like God thinks, we observe the way he would do something. We agree with the way he is doing something. We understand the way he's doing something. And it brings us back to our original mind. How we were in the Garden of Eden. We can have that right now, today. My husband and I practice all the time. We are intentional about thinking in a way that is God's prescribed way of thinking. And when we find ourselves over in Never Never Land thinking in a way that opposes the way God thinks, we are quick to repent. And we'll talk about that one next. We're quick to repent. We're quick to change our ideas about what we're thinking. Because this world system, right, this environment has taught us how to think. It says, if you run out of money, get worried because you're not going to have any. And that's going to cause problems. And these problems are going to affect you and your family for a long time. So you need to fix it. That's not how God sees that. He says, be anxious for nothing. In all things with prayer, supplication, thanksgiving, make your requests made known unto God. Those sound really different, right? And it depends on which one you do will determine what your results will be. So, I want to encourage you today. Pick up your copy of Think Like God, Understanding Your Original Mind. I also want you to go to www.kingdomthinkingenterprises.com to order your copy. It will also be coming out this fall in Spanish version, and we're really excited to have you on board. I'm telling you, once you get the book, I want you to upload a video copy. Come on over to our Instagram, upload your video copy of your review so we can check it out. If you don't agree with it, that's fine. Still upload your video review. We want to get the message out and help others think like God. All the mental illnesses we've been experiencing these last 10 years, it's just blown out of proportion to such a degree. That degree is because we continue to go further and further and further and further away from how God thinks, from his reasoning ability about things. And then we take it upon ourselves to do the work. We were never designed to do that. Never. So go out, get your copy, Think Like God, Understand Your Original Mind. If you're in Indianapolis, we hope to see you at the book signing on Sunday, May 19th from 3 to 5 p.m. And can't wait to see you there. Thanks.